That's on this female wheel. The X factor, which is the female wheel, or the wheel of space, ushers in the Y factor, which is the nuclear energy. Okay? Alright, then this nuclear energy beta decays into an X factor of its own. Alright? So the female ushers in the male, then the male ushers in the female. Alright? That's how this works. Basically, space is God. Space. And it ushers in everything else. And the reason why Eve came out of Adam is because of this factor here. Because, and this is why, it's like, a lot of people can look at it however they want to. Alright? But regardless, the male carries both chromosomes, both factors. Alright? Whether it's even energy, or if it's biological energy, quantum energy, it doesn't matter. Okay, there's only two energies of the universe, and you might say, "Oh, that's wrong because there's kinetic energy." And well, what does kinetic energy come from? What does potential energy come from? It comes from these things. Okay, if you're saying, well, it comes from matter moving, that's potential energy, that's inertia. Well, that's nuclear and electric energy combined. That makes atoms, which makes that matter, which makes that movement. So everything comes from nuclear and electric energy. That's the potential energy of the universe and the kinetic energy of the universe. Okay, that's all the energy of the universe, literally, just the Y and X factors. It's those two things that are everything that is God. I'm explaining this is what God is, and I'm just trying to throw it out there. And it can all be explained. All the religious people can be vindicated, and all the scientific people can be vindicated, and all the non-believers can be vindicated. Because if look, I'm going to just show you what true atheism is. All right. So if you believe natural law is God, that's literally true atheism. All right. All right. Now, if you know how the universe forms through Y and X factors, which is just like how we formed, okay, then you'll know exactly what God is, okay? So then you can't argue about it. You'll know exactly what God is, and you're like, look, and this is how you spot a phony atheist, because, like I was explaining in that video, okay, if they can't believe in natural law, then there's something wrong, all right? So, if they don't want to believe in natural law, this is the only way the universe forms, and the fact is, it's what believers would believe and non-believers, because it's the truth, because everybody is vindicated with this, everyone. These two factors vindicate the world right here. Vindicate the world. This natural law, Y and X. This is God. Okay? It's in everything. It does everything. Even our intentions make this work in a good way or a bad way. I mean, it is everything. This is God. This is the Holy Father, which is the Y, and this is the Holy Mother. This is the X. And when these two conceive a universe, that is the Holy Conception. I mean, I'm just trying to throw it out there. You might think I'm crazy, but it makes perfect sense and explains a lot of stuff. It could make so much peace, I think, if people would just understand something that the government is hiding from us. It's right in our faces, and all of our science explains it perfectly. It explains it perfectly, and it's not revealed because, and they separate all the sciences to make sure it's not revealed. This is all the sciences combined, and it takes understanding biological science, quantum science, astrophysics. It takes understanding all of this stuff and having a detective-like sense about yourself to do the investigating. And it takes a long time to put it all together, but ultimately it reveals something grand. It really does. Like I was saying on that other video about space being inherently female. It's female in nature. It's like the wheel of the universe. It wheels in a universe. Space literally wheels in a universe. The X factor ushers in the Y factor, which is the nuclear energy that's going to create everything. So in the female wheel, it is very powerful. Okay, it's more powerful than a man. I think a man would go crazy if he had a baby growing inside him. He'd probably just be like, God, get this thing out of me, put me out of my mind, my misery. I think the female, there's a lot of aspects about, like I was saying, about men and women that, like, men are stronger physically. I think females are stronger mentally when it comes to certain things, and you see that. We see that. We see a lot more females out here that have a easier resistance against doing something they shouldn't do. Whereas guys, they just don't give a shit, you know. I'm just throwing that out there. You don't have to like it, you know. I'm just throwing it out there. But there are people that are, you know, it doesn't apply to everybody, obviously. But I'm just saying, overall, in a grander scale, there's certain aspects about the X factor that benefit over the Y factor, and there's certain things about the Y factor that benefit over the X factor. You know, you need both of them regardless. Doesn't matter. You need both. Okay. I mean, that's the ultimate picture, is the Y and X factor. This is where marriage comes from. The concept of marriage actually begins literally with the Y and the X. Okay. This is the grand, the big picture, and this is these two. The marriage of these two energies create atoms. They create planets. They create galaxies. You know. They create everything. The Y and the X factor creates everything. And that's the marriage between these two. And that's what a marriage is, okay? Now, atoms, they have one nucleus, and they have a whole bunch of electrons, okay? This is where the concept of some of these religions come in, where the man can have 12 wives, or 6 wives, or, you know, whatever. All right? This is why. This is why. Because these women represent the electrons. That's the X factor, the eggs. See what I'm saying? The shells. And the man is the nucleus. And I know that you need more than one proton or whatever and neutron to have your electrons, but there's still only one nucleus and multiple eggshells. Okay? So regardless, the one man, the Y factor, and his wives, which are the X factors, and he can have a whole bunch of them. But I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there. And it's not like I believe that a man should be married to 12 women, you know. I mean, I just think, you know, just keep it simple and don't overdo it and don't take advantage. But I'm just saying this is where this stuff comes from. It's not like most of it's a power trip. And there is a lot of it that's a power trip. That's the stuff that makes no sense in it, you know, that just is all personal opinions. The deep-seated science is still in there, you know. It's just been obscured over thousands of years of word of mouth. You know, I mean, literally, word of mouth, and people just like to complicate everything. Even something simple, they complicate it to the point where you can't even understand it anymore. Like space and physics. The theories that I've seen on here, my God, people come up with the dumbest stuff, thinking the coolest sounding theory is the smartest, coolest thing. I mean, but golly, I mean, you're just listen to yourself, you know. Half of I'll be like, oh, well, I mean, they'll throw out thousands of big words and that make no sense with each other. Or, I mean, it's like, or you know, it's just funny, dude. I'm just saying.